So I thought we would start today by addressing the elephant in the room.
Oh no.
Yes, Ryan and I are exceedingly handsome.
Something we need to address, obviously.
Yes.
Because it's on everyone's minds.
But actually, yes, we both shaved.
Oh, right. I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I know. So my face is really cold.
Yeah, same. And scratchy. And
Yeah.
I look 14. I'm 23.
I actually look like I'm 21 now.
Yeah, he looks like the age he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I keep facial hair, because I just go right back to 14, angsty little preteen.
You prepubescent teenager.
My personality changes with it as soon as I shave. Just like...
My voice goes up a few octaves.
Yeah.
But no, we're doing No Shave November. So we started the challenge by shaving on October 31st at the last night.
Yep.
And we're going to grow it out for all of November. And it just works out perfectly that the days we film, the first day of November, and we also film the second last day of November.
Yeah.
So y'all get to watch us get progressively more and more homeless.
Oh my goodness.
Because we both grow it from like here to here. So it's going to be top of the cheek, down to the neck.
I get full neck beard and up there. It's going to be wild. But the last episode, or in 2 episodes, will be November 29th.
Yeah, when we film.
So you'll get a whole day one and then final day pretty much.
Basically, and then maybe we'll do a competition at the end. We'll do a poll on who did it better.
On Instagram. At Life Podcast on Instagram.
See, it's kind of nice because most people, if I did that, I would just win because most people can't grow a beard.
Yeah, I actually somehow can.
I want one.
Even though all through high school, it came late for me. Like, not till I went to college, 2 years after high school.
Dude, grade 10, had a beard.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody was like, that's so epic. 15 years old, and I'm growing a beard.
That's crazy. Like usually the blonde kids don't grow beards like that. It's usually the darker haired people that grow them first.
But I've got a red beard.
Yeah.
So and it wasn't a great beard. It was like a chin strap, just like here. But now I've got like full beard, full freaking beard.
Oh my. Has it helped you in your dating life at all?
Nope.
What a segue. So today we're talking about dating.
Because, we're two single guys. We have a lot of knowledge and wisdom on this subject.
We know so much that we just tried to stay out of the dating pool because we know too much.
If we were in the dating pool, game over for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. For all the other guys' sake, it's just so not true. That is so funny.
What are you talking about? It's so true. That's why I started by saying we are incredibly handsome.
The pain in our life. Oh no. Okay. So I got a question for you for the first dating episode. I'm scared.
Can I drink my coffee first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a swig. You're gonna want one. So Japheth. All right. What?
Just about lost my coffee. Sorry.
Everyone listening is in suspense. Same with him. He has no idea what I'm going to ask him.
Okay. I'm okay with keeping the suspense.
What's the definition of love?
Gosh. Okay. That's a good question.
It's like the hardest thing.
Yeah, but it's not either.
It's not. As Christians, I feel like as people in the secular world, it's kind of doesn't really make sense to them.
No, and because I think the common misconception is that love is a feeling.
Yep.
Love is not a feeling. Love is a choice.
Yeah.
Right? And the Bible says God is love.
Yeah. See, like, love would be easy if it was a feeling. Like, if you felt like loving someone all the time, then it's just easy because you feel like doing it. But love is hard because you have to love someone even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. despite your feelings, you still
Exactly.
care for that person, look out for that person.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you throw in the love your enemies as yourself,
Yeah.
you're like, dang, I'm supposed to, like, despite how I feel towards them, I probably don't like them at all.
Yeah.
But I still have to love them. I still have to treat them with respect and dignity. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's a interesting thing too. Love your enemies as yourself. I always struggled with that because I feel like I never really loved myself that much, which is getting real deep real fast, but but it just made me think like, and this was brought up in like a few relationship conflicts I've had in the past year. You have to be able to love yourself before you can love someone else. Or you have to know, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because if you have no love for yourself and you're trying to love other people, it's not going to work. And I've witnessed that firsthand. So yeah, that's always been a big one for me. It's like, how do I love my enemies as much as myself when I don't love myself?
Yeah, that's weird because even if you think the definition of love is despite how you feel,
Yeah.
so despite how I feel about myself,
Yeah.
I still have to care for myself, treat
Oh, that's
myself
such a
with
good
respect,
Yeah, that's such a good point.
which I think a lot of us struggle with, and we just like, I'm not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But despite how you feel about it, you still have to.
Yeah. And if you can't make, like, I always say love is sacrifice. So love is giving up something for someone else or for whatever you're loving. And if you can't sacrifice anything for yourself, how do you expect to do that for other people? So yeah. And obviously in the Bible, the greatest sacrifice was Jesus giving up his own life. And I think that right there is the definition of love, is giving up yourself for someone else or for others.
Dude, and to love Christ then is to surrender, is to sacrifice your life.
Yeah.
For Christ.
To sacrifice what you want, what you feel like your life should be for what Jesus says you should be. Crazy. It all makes sense. And see, outside of the Bible, it doesn't.
No.
Because without that context, it's just like, why? Why would I give up myself for someone else?
And I like the love's gone. What do you mean the love's gone?
Yeah.
Right? Like some people that get divorced, like, oh, we just didn't love each other anymore. Well, what do you mean? You didn't feel
Yeah.
attracted to that person anymore? You didn't,
Yeah.
like, what does that mean if you're not married? Or if you're not, sorry, not married. If you're not following the Lord, like, that doesn't make sense to me then. Because then if you're basing your whole life, your whole marriage on feeling a certain way towards this person, yeah, you're going to lose. Because feelings don't
last.
They change.
Emotions are irrational in most cases. Not most, maybe half the time. I don't know. But, yeah. It's like, oh, I don't love my husband anymore. We're not calling people out because it's real stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of a choice not to love him anymore because it's a choice to love someone.
Yeah.
So, but obviously it's really hard to make that choice daily for one person your whole life. And that's why there's a covenant behind it, and it's a commitment from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would also argue, though, that it's also hard to stop making that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not stop, like you can just stop making the choice, but it's hard to live with the consequences of that choice.
Yeah.
Right? Like for some people, marriages, or they get divorced because, oh, I don't love you anymore. Mm-hmm. So I've stopped choosing to love you, so I'm going to end it. But that is just as hard in the long run as choosing every day to love that person. Mm-hmm. So you got to pick your hard. Do you want to have a hard marriage and work on it and make it better, and then have the joy of improving your marriage and have it be a closer relationship at the end of it? Or do you want to just cut it off and have to deal with all the consequences of that? Because that's hard. Mm-hmm. And that's hard on not just you.
Yeah. And there's a Blink-182 song about that called Stay Together for the Kids. And he says, if it's what he wants and it's what she wants, then why is there so much pain? And that song gets me every time. I mean, my family's still together, like my parents are still together, but like, yeah, it's not a better decision to leave. It's not gonna make you happier. It's gonna cause more problems. We've got like we went past dating. We're like talking about marriage now. Commitment, everything.
We're not even dating, but we're gonna talk about marriage.
Yeah. Well,
marriage.
I feel like that. Marriage. Well, I feel like the Bible talks about marriage more than dating.
Well, because dating wasn't a thing.
No, it was just like. A lot of times it was arranged.
Yeah. Hey, woman, you're pretty. Let's get married. Okay, that was kind of what it was, right?
Yeah. So that's why that's why we know more about marriage than dating, because I feel like the dating scene changes all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's no basis behind it. It's like basically cultural every time, and in the West, our culture changes like my clothes. I change my clothes a lot. I don't know.
Interesting comparison there.
Yeah, I change a lot. So just to make that make sense.
Stop changing, Ryan. We love you just the way you are.
No, but I'll like come home after work and be like, hey, I haven't worn that shirt in a while. Let's just change my wardrobe just to sit in bed. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I just have too much clothes.
I definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
I wear like the same 8 outfits all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. There's 2 types of people for sure.
And I look in my closet and go, I haven't worn that in so long. I haven't worn that in so long. I'm like, I should probably wear that. And then I see the thing I wear all the time, and it's like, oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, what's the dating landscape like right now? I don't know. You're asking the wrong people.
Well, I mean, you're kind of in that world now.
Yeah, this summer I've been trying to get on dates as much as I can, because I've kind of stayed away from that for a while. Yeah, I haven't had a tremendous luck lately. Recently I went out with someone a couple times, and who knows where that's going to go. Hopefully a good place. But yeah, it's weird. It's like, because we're so antisocial now that like going out with someone you've never met, or like exactly.
Oh, sorry, were you talking?
It's just weird to like, I don't know. A lot of the times you'll text a person for a while, and like just talking to them over the phone is
going through that texting stage.
Yeah, it's like the talking stage, but you're not actually talking, you're texting. Mm-hmm. Which makes it so easy for people to ghost you. Just don't respond, and then you don't have to deal with them, and that, it's annoying.
So how do you go about trying to start dating somebody? Like, what's the process?
Like for me?
For you, and then maybe we can talk. Yeah, for you, what's your process?
For me, it's always easier for friends first. I don't know. I'm an awkward guy. I can't talk to women. I'll tell you a story about my first girlfriend, which was in grade 4.
You're doing one better than me. Mine was grade 5.
Except mine was literally a 2-year-long relationship, grade 4 to 6. And
that's hilarious.
We never talked to each other in person. Like,
I don't know that I was any better. She asked me out via a note passed through class.
Yeah.
And then we never talked. Like, at all.
It's like, yes, but I'm not going to talk to you.
That was like at the end of grade 5. Came to school grade 6. She was dating somebody else. Hadn't talked to her like all summer. Saw her once throughout the summer. Oh, man. So I don't really count that, because that's just...
No, I don't count mine either, because... Dude, we talked so much over Hotmail Messenger.
That's awesome.
It was before even Facebook. I got Facebook. Yeah, we talked every day on Hotmail Messenger, and never once would talk in person at class or anything. So eventually in grade 6, her friends were like, "What are you doing with this dude?" Still, like, he won't even talk to you. And that was like a problem throughout my childhood, is talking to girls that I liked. Couldn't do it. The girls are scary, man.
Facts. And they travel in hordes.
Yeah, true. Yep. But I've gotten better, I think. Obviously
I don't know if I have or not.
Yeah.
I haven't invested in my flirting skills?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
But what's your process now?
Now, well, I've been on dating apps, which is just don't do it. I mean, if you need to, you can, but they're rarely ever successful. Yeah. So I've gone on a few dates with someone from people from dating apps, and it's like, I don't know, doesn't work very well. But like I said before, it's a lot easier if I'm friends with someone first.
Yeah.
I can get to know them. I can get comfortable talking to them before it's like awkward and all those expectations come up. You can just talk to them like a friend. Yeah, so that's kind of how I usually approach it.
Yeah. And I would actually argue that as a Christian, that is the way you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that doesn't work for everybody. But ideally, you want to be friends with that person first.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, one thing I very much appreciate about my last relationship was that we were, like, best friends. Mm. Which, then it sucks if it doesn't work out because you just lost your best friend.
Yeah.
Or one of your best friends, which, that sucks a little bit. And that, honestly, when we broke up, what hurt more was that I lost a friend.
Mm. Right.
But we knew each other so well by the time we started dating.
Yeah.
And even now when people are like... Because I've had a few people come up to me and they're like, hey, like, I really like this person. What do I do?
Yeah.
And I kind of go, well, especially when it's, like, just starting. And it's advice I heard this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's dynamite. It's just enjoy hanging out with them for the time being.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just enjoy spending time with them. Get to know them. Ideally, you want to do it in a group setting. You don't want to just go hang out with them on your own all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it happened, like...
Yeah.
But get to know them in a group. And you also, when you hang out with somebody by themselves, you don't get to know them as you do in a group. A lot of...
So true.
What you learn about people is watching them interact with their friends. How do they treat their friends? How do they treat the people around them?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're like, dang, this person's kind of nice and you're interested, honestly, your first step should just be get to know them.
Yeah.
Hang out with them in groups and...
Yeah, invite them to the function.
And just make sure you're bringing the right vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so true. Because, like, I feel like when you're one-on-one with someone and you're, like, sort of trying to start dating, it's like you don't see the real side of them. You see, like, the side that they're trying to show you to make them seem good, you know? And... Yeah, and I feel like you're not yourself as well because you're trying to show them what you think they want to see. So, yeah, the group setting is always good because you can be yourself around your friends and then they can see that. And then... Yeah. Yeah. So, how do you think... Because you've had one girlfriend? One?
One official.
Yeah.
And then the grade 5 fiasco. And there have been a couple... that I didn't, like, I got totally rejected once, and then I went on dates with another girl,
right,
and then I asked her out, and she said yes, and then a week later was like, actually, I need to think about it, after she made me ask her dad.
Oh.
Like, she was like, yeah, but you should ask my dad first, which I was planning on. Yeah. So I asked him, that was scary, and he was like, yeah, that sounds good to me, I like you, and I was like, sick, and I was all excited, and then she was like, actually, I need to think about it, and then a week later... gave me like three reasons why she didn't want to go out with me. Yeah. And then a couple months later I found out they were all lies. Ooh. And the funny thing is all of her friends were on my side. Oh. Yeah, they were all like, you were a jerk to him. And I was like, hey, that's how I know I didn't do much wrong.
Right. So how do you think those experiences, did they change your perspective on dating or on even yourself in relationships?
They definitely changed my perspective on dating. And I would say with each experience, I got, like, you learn from it, and I got a little wiser when it came to dating. Yeah. And I learned a little bit more about what I think a dating relationship should look like as somebody pursuing the Lord. Right. And I would say with each relationship, I got closer and closer to living into the Lord. Yeah. Through the relationship. which has been good, and it's also taught me some stuff about myself.
Yeah.
Which is, and how I need to be a bit more careful in some things.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Fair. Yeah, it's like setting the right boundaries, knowing what you're looking for, knowing what... Yeah, for me, yeah, I learned a lot about myself. I've had one girlfriend. I'm not counting the grade 4 to 6 one, but in that relationship, it was about 1 year and 8 months long. I learned a lot. Mostly after the relationship, reflecting on the relationship is when I learned a lot, because man, when you have those love feelings for someone, you can go blind to what you're going through. Like, that's what I learned about myself a lot, is I would let myself get stepped on all the time, and I wouldn't even realize it. I was just like, it's okay. But looking back, I'm like, whoa, I let that happen? It's like... So I learned a lot about myself and how I shouldn't let people, I don't know, control me in a way, or I should stick up for myself more in relationships. Yeah. And I was young too, like I was 16 to 18 during that relationship, and I was like, still learning a lot. I just thought all I knew was I have to commit, so anything that was rough going on, I was just like, I'm just going to push through it and commit. And then that ended up bad because it wasn't the right relationship, and I was still in it for the long run, even though it was not for me. It was not the person for me. And then, so that really shattered me when it kind of broke off. I was like, okay, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't it right for me and stuff like that? And I learned a lot about what I'm looking for now, which is cool.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm most appreciative for in my last relationship is the fact that I have no hard feelings. Mm-hmm. None.
Same.
Which is sweet. Because I don't know, in my mind, we did things right. It was all about the Lord, or that was our goal. Right. We were friends first, like good friends. Started dating, and then it just ended just because it wasn't right. Right. Right? Like, it wasn't like we had a big fight or anything. Mm-hmm. It wasn't working. It wasn't right. Right. So, and I even felt the Lord was like, this isn't what I have for you. Mm. And I didn't listen. Like, there was a moment I had the only regrets I have, literally the only regret is not ending it sooner. Oh, okay. Because it caused both of us more pain than it needed to. Yeah. Than if I would have just ended it. Yeah. When I felt like I should end it. Mm-hmm. Because I literally just felt like the Lord was like, you need to stop. Yeah. This isn't going to work. This is not what I have planned for you. She has fulfilled my purpose for her in your life, and you have fulfilled my purpose for you in her life. Yeah. And I ignorantly didn't listen to that. Mm. And then later she ended up, because we lived far away, she called me, and she was like, I think we need to be done. And I had to like coach her through the process. Oh. But I have no hard feelings towards her. She was awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it hurt a little. It hurt when we ended, but I truly hope the best for her. Like, she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. Yeah. Very much loves the Lord, and I really hope she has a wonderful life and continues to seek the Lord. I have no hard feelings towards it.
Yeah, that's great. And a lot of times you don't hear that being the case. A lot of times it's like people take those things very personal. And like there's this whole thing, it's like, why are you still friends with your ex? Like, I'm still really good friends with my ex. And the amount of pain I went through ending that relationship was insane. It was so immense. But I mean, I'm a forgiver at heart. I'm always quick to forgive people because, I don't know, I think I know what it's like to do something wrong. I know what it's like to mess up and to be imperfect. So I'm pretty good at putting myself in people's shoes. But there is, like, I forgive people, but I don't let myself forget. Like, I don't let myself go through that again. You learn from that, so...
Maybe instead of forgive and forget, it should be forgive and learn.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because she did try to get back together with me a few months later, and I was like, no, Like, it was ingrained in my mind. I was like, we are not right for each other. We're not going to try this again because I know it's going to end the same way. But yeah, we're still great friends because we're able to move past that, realize we're not the one for each other, and just, move on, learn from either side. And yeah.
So here's a question for you then.
Okay.
Now, trying to date somebody else, is it a red flag for you if somebody's really good friends with their ex?
That's a great question, because my instinct to say, well, red flags, I feel like it's a yellow flag, like caution, because
I think it depends on the relationship.
it does, and how it ended, and your feelings towards them now.
And are you talking to them all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just, when I see them, and I talk to them a little bit, and when I see them, we're fine because we're just good friends. Right?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's okay. For me, it comes a red flag when it's like, I talk to them every day.
Yeah.
I'm super close with them. If you're pursuing a relationship with me and you're still talking to your ex every day, that's a big red flag for me.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, because you did at one point have those feelings for them.
Yeah.
And, like, they're obviously very strong feelings, or they were at one point. And, yeah, so I would say it depends on, like, that's why it's a yellow flag, because it really depends on the relationship, depends on the context or the person. But I'm in the spot where if it makes I'd have to be... If I got into a really committed relationship and it made them uncomfortable that I was still hanging out with my ex, I'm not going to choose my ex over my committed relationship. It's going to be like, okay, well, I can work with that. Obviously, it sucks because I might lose a little bit of contact with a friend. But if you're actually committed to a relationship, then that's you're committed to the relationship, period. Like, that's where the line should be. Especially, like, when it comes to talking about marriage and stuff, it's them first. It's not... But then you also have to guard yourself from the person you're in a relationship with. Like, if they're too insecure about who you're talking to and they're not understanding how close you are with your friends or something like that. So that's why dating is so complicated, because there's so much nuance in every relationship. It's so different. There's no one answer. Yeah. So nowadays, how do you think... I feel like it's men and women grow up learning different things about how they should act and how they're treated. I've got some opinions on this. I talk about this with my friends a lot, one of my close friends, because I feel like men in this generation grew up taught not to show emotion, not to cry, to be tough. And I think that's changing now. Like, over the past 10 years, that's started changing. But at the same time, women in our generation have grown up being taught not to need a man. And I think that's pretty recent, but that's totally the case. And I've seen that over and over again with, like, the feminist movements and stuff. They're grown up taught to be your own woman, independent woman, boss woman. You don't need anyone to support you. And then men are like, what do we do with that? Yeah. Because we're told to be supported, the stoic man that is taught to lead and support a family, and we're trying to find a wife that is taught not to need a man. It's like so backwards, and I think that's why the dating landscape today is so skewed. Yeah.
Well, maybe to answer, I'll just talk about what I look for and my kind of process of, is this somebody I should date? Maybe first I'll talk a little bit, I'll address the man being emotional thing. Mm-hmm. So I actually had a really long conversation with, like, my best friend, and we'll probably have him on the podcast in a couple episodes. But he recently started a relationship, and we were hanging out, and he was like, dude, I've had a really rough week. It's just not been a good week. And I was like, dang, well, what did your girlfriend think of this? And he's like, I didn't tell her. And that bugged me, and I didn't say anything in the moment. And then we talked later, and I was like, dude, when are you going to tell her you had a bad week?
Yeah.
And he was like, I wasn't planning on it. Well, what do you mean you're not planning on it? I was like, why? He's like, because I need to be the strong man. The person she can come to when she has issues. And I was like, why on earth would she come to you with issues if you don't first go to her?
Yeah, so true.
And he was like, well, but I'm supposed to be a strong man. And I was like, okay, what's stronger, bottling everything up or being comfortable to be vulnerable with this person you're trying to build a life with?
True.
If you want to build a life with somebody, if you want to date somebody, find out if there's somebody you want to do your life with.
Yeah.
You need to be willing to have that vulnerability. Be like, hey, I had a bad week.
Yeah.
I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to know.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, that's so backwards to what he was thinking. And that's how we kind of were raised, right? Like,
it's so true.
Men can't have emotions. Men have emotions.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with emotions. You just can't be controlled by your emotions.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we see that a lot in marriages from the generation before. Men don't open up.
Yeah.
And like I said in the last podcast, you have to open up to grow. So if you don't open up and you don't grow, then your wife is going to grow without you, or you're not going to grow together because you're not being vulnerable with that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be careful not to bottle things up. It should be, you're going through life together. You are now one flesh, as the Bible says.
When you get married.
Yeah, when you get married, you are now one flesh. So you can't hide things from someone that's a part of you.
And if you're not doing that, if you're not willing to be vulnerable through the dating process, now I don't think you need to tell them everything right away because you're just starting to date. That's not how it should work. It's a relationship. It's going to grow. But if you don't start that vulnerability while dating, it's going to be a rough start to your marriage.
So true.
Because you're going to have to learn how to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
In the marriage, when you could have done that while dating, which is kind of the point of dating.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're lucky to have dating like in our culture, because most people, they meet their wife. They're just like, here, you're going to marry this person. Okay, we just have to commit to each other no matter who they are. We have a choice. We can kind of choose who we're going to marry.
Yeah.
So we got to utilize dating the best we can. So
yeah,
it's basically, in my mind, practice for marriage. It doesn't really make sense for me, being a Christian, when people say they don't date for marriage, they date just to date. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's so dumb to me. Like, why would you date just to date?
Yeah.
What's the point?
It's like you're setting yourself up for
failure.
For failure, to get hurt eventually.
Well, one of the things that that ties into that I've heard is you're basically training yourself for divorce.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you just date to date,
yeah,
you're training yourself for divorce.
Exactly.
Because all you're doing is, I like this now, as soon as I don't like it, I'm done. That's not how marriage works, right? Like, just because it gets hard doesn't mean you quit.
Yeah. Like, in my opinion, divorce shouldn't be an option.
It shouldn't. And the unfortunate reality of our world is that it is.
Yeah.
But it goes very much against what God has planned for us.
And, obviously, in extreme cases, divorce is the right way to go, like when it comes to abuse or stuff like that. But it shouldn't have to come to that. Yeah.
So something else that I told my buddy, just because I think we all need this reminder, when you're dating somebody, you're not just dating the good parts of that person.
Exactly.
You are dating the whole person.
Yeah.
And I had to remind him of that too, because he was like, I need to be the strong man. And I was like, dude, she didn't start dating you just because of your good qualities. She's not dating your good qualities.
Yeah.
She is dating all of you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't like that. And I was like, I know, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And you are not dating her good qualities. You are dating all of her.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that. Like, nobody's perfect.
No.
So you can't go looking for this perfect person all the time. You're never going to find them.
Yeah, I know.
Now, that doesn't mean you should just ignore all the bad signs, red flags,
Yeah.
bad signs, whatever. But nobody's going to check every single box.
No.
Now, you should have some boxes that have to be checked.
Yeah, non-negotiables that just work with you, which usually aren't specific. They're like, she loves God, non-negotiable, probably because the Bible says that.
Yeah.
What
Don't
else?
be unequally yoked.
Yeah.
So
What else would be a
before we get into
non-negotiable?
this,
Okay.
do you have a list of non-negotiables? So I've recently, through my mentorship that I'm doing with one of the pastors at the church, we talked about women one day, and he was like, his process was he legit had a list of things that he was like non-negotiables and negotiables, and he made me make a list.
Right.
So I have written down a list of non-negotiables that I want
Yeah.
in a marriage, and some negotiable things.
Right.
So my top non-negotiable is loves the Lord, but I was a little more specific. I said actively pursues the Lord.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, that would be top of mind as well. And I think I maybe think of more, but the other one I think of is I have to be attracted to this person.
Yeah.
So that's a non-negotiable. I'd like to be attracted to my wife. Can
I build on the pursues the Lord? So the reason I say actively pursues instead of just loves the Lord, is because actions speak louder than words. You can tell me you love the Lord. Cool.
Yeah.
Let me see it. Right?
So true.
Like if I can see that you actively pursue the Lord, to me that is, dang, this person loves the Lord. Because they actively pursue him. They desire to grow closer with him. They desire to be more like him.
Yeah.
And that to me is why it's not loves the Lord, it's pursues the Lord.
So true.
Actively pursues.
And then you can, with someone like that, if you get married, then you can actively pursue together, which is like...
Which you should do through the whole process.
Yeah.
The whole relationship.
Exactly. And I feel like that non-negotiable right off the bat sets you guys on a good path.
Yeah.
Just that one thing. Because you both have the same values, and the same beliefs, and the same drive. Yeah.
Yeah. I also did though have the I want it to be somebody I'm attracted to. I don't want to marry somebody that I wake up and go, dang, you're ugly. Right? That's just, I don't know. It sounds mean, but also I don't want somebody to marry me if they're not attracted to me.
Exactly.
To some level, right?
Right.
Why would you want to marry somebody you don't like looking at?
Yeah, honestly, that makes it so much harder to choose to love them.
And that that's not the number one thing, but it is. It is in there, and it's one of my non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Because I still want to be attracted to you. You're my partner.
And for me, what I found through my life is attraction can develop.
Yeah.
I've grown interest in someone that when I first saw them, I was like, oh, I would never date that person. And then 6 months later, I was head over heels for this girl. So, yeah, that being said, attraction can develop.
Yep. I heard the same thing, actually, where it's like...
Yeah. That's why I believe becoming friends first is such a big thing, because then, the attraction can develop over that time. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, what else would you have as a non-negotiable?
I don't know. It's pretty much... I would love to be respected, as the leader of the family. I don't know.
We're getting into the controversial subjects here.
Yeah.
Well, just because that whole 1 Corinthians passage on basically that, and Ephesians 5 qualities, or the guidelines for a husband and a wife.
Oh, right.
Wives, submit to your husbands.
Right.
I want to be respected as the leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I want like my list, I've tried to build my non-negotiables list around the qualities that God calls for women, and one of my non-negotiables is I want to be attracted to the how much they love the Lord and pursue the Lord, but I even more so want them to be attracted to the fact that I love the Lord. Yeah, I want that to be like, dang, this guy loves the Lord.
Right, and that I feel like ties in with this respect.
Yeah. Which is why I brought it up. I think this ties in.
Yeah, and I think that's what I mean by respect. I want someone that can look up to me and can come to me for anything, and not feel like I don't know what I'm doing or don't have an answer or can't work through it with them. Yeah, I want someone that they know they're safe with me and they can come to me.
And that goes both ways, right?
Yeah. And same. Like, I want someone that I know I can come to without, like, even you talked about before, like, not telling them you had a bad day. I want someone that I can come to and say, oh, I had a bad day. And then they can be supportive about that and not like,
suck it up, buttercup.
my day was worse.
I definitely do say a lot, suck it up, buttercup, but if somebody legit comes to me and is like, hey, I've had like this going on, I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. Yeah. Right? But yeah, and you don't want somebody that's always like, my day was worse. My day was better.
Yeah. Because I feel like that forces a man into not saying it. Yeah. Or not bringing things up. It's like, well, they're just going to compare themselves. So, yeah.
So yeah.
Should we get into specifics? What type of girl do you like? I don't
What's your type?
I don't know if I really have a type.
I definitely have a type.
Oh yeah?
I've noticed.
Physical type?
To some extent, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Are you gonna say it?
I don't know. I say that because I've definitely noticed some correlation between all the girls I've been attracted to. They have some characteristics that are similar. Yeah. Oh, man, how much do I really want to get into that?
I'd prefer that she's shorter than me. I don't think that's a non-negotiable, but that'd make me a lot happier.
It's a little emasculating when you're significant other's taller than you. Dude, I have a buddy. Yeah. He's 5'6", dated a 6'1" girl.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's interesting.
He also $135.
Oh, okay.
Like, he's tiny.
Yeah.
His waist was like, I think 27 inches around. Tiny. But he's like one of the best guys I've ever met. I love him.
Cool. Yeah.
But he dated a 6'1" girl, and I was like, dang.
Wow, 6'1", the girl. That's hard to find.
Taller
he
than
sought
him.
out that.
Yeah.
He was like, who's the tallest
girl? Okay, we live in a Dutch community. There's quite a few.
Oh, okay. Fair.
No, but this guy's from BC, so he... But around here, it's not actually that. Like, growing through school, especially in high school, most women in my school were like 5'7" and up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, side note. But yeah, I definitely would prefer they're shorter than me, but that's not like a, you need to be shorter than me. Yeah. No, I'm not that picky.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, that would be like one of my non-negotiables. Or not, sorry. One of my negotiables.
Yeah.
Shorter than me. It's in the negotiables. It doesn't have to be there. I would love it to be there. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Do I...
You gonna say more? I don't know if we should get into
our specifics.
I
will definitely say though there's a type.
Yeah.
And it's not like I specifically look for that. That just happens to be what I'm attracted to.
Yeah, exactly.
That probably sounds really strange. Potentially.
You can go back to episode 1 when I talked about interests. God put those attractions in you.
True.
Maybe. I don't know. So yeah, you can't blame him for...
I will just say I am Dutch, and I think I definitely am more attracted to those Dutch characteristics.
Okay.
Physically.
Yeah.
But...
What about personality-wise? What are you attracted to that way?
See, that's an interesting one, because I think that, for me...
Fluctuates
a little bit. Because even, like, if I think about all the people that I've pursued, they all had fairly different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the big things for me, personality-wise, is that, like, they are godly, and it shows through who they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, compassionate, kind, stuff like that. As for the specific parts of the personality, nothing
right.
super sticky, right?
Right.
But you also have, like, there's people that are complete opposites, and opposites attract, but I also know couples that are, like, exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, personality is definitely more important than the physical features, but I think personality, I also have a broader
range
of, like, I'm not as picky.
Yeah.
Not that I'm super picky physically either. It's just...
I think for me, it's not that I'm more attracted to this, but it's easier for me to talk to girls that are more out there, outgoing, and talk a lot.
Because you don't have to
work
as hard.
I don't have to work as hard. I can bounce off them, and like, it's really easy for me to interact with those type of girls. So I guess I do go for those more. So yeah, the yappers.
You heard it here first, ladies. If you want to attract Ryan, just be really outgoing.
Yap my ear off. Yeah.
Just kidding. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
No. No.
Totally put you on the spot. I apologize.
It's okay.
It was the bit. It was worth it.
So, when was your last girlfriend?
2 years ago?
Okay.
When did I go? Because it was right after Cape and Ray. So we started dating at Cape and Ray, broke up a month after Cape and Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So we dated for like 2 months and a week or something like that.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what year that was. Was it 2022? No, it was 2023. 2023, so just over a year ago. About a year and a half ago now.
Okay. Do you feel like you're out of practice? Like, has it been that long or I don't know. Because for me, I've been single we're coming up on 5 years, which I've been really patient for the first 4 years. And now I'm starting to get a little antsy. Just because I do want to get married and have a family and stuff. So I'm trying to put myself out there. Like I said, this summer I've been trying to go on dates. But I do feel like dating has changed since I was 18. And like my relationship at 18, I was 16 to 18, so I was really young. It wasn't like a very mature relationship. It was pretty physical. It wasn't really God-centered. And so I haven't had experience with a mature relationship, and that kind of scares me a little bit, but
yeah, it's
just been so long for me.
To be honest, I wouldn't say I'm out of practice, because I would also say I was never in practice.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's also, like, whoever I go out with, or if I end up marrying somebody, I want them to be my best friend.
Yeah.
So, as for, like, out of practice, no, because I know how to be somebody's friend.
Yeah.
And to me, to some extent, dating is it's just one step closer.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's friend, and then one step further is you're dating, right? So, I haven't noticed that so much, and yeah, I also don't really think about that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I really think about it too much. I'm like, ooh, I don't know how to date anymore. But...
See, but I would argue you probably do. You just...
Yeah, exactly. I've just been out of it so long that I'm getting in my head about it.
How old-fashioned are you?
Like...
Who pays on the first date?
Oh, I will pay every time.
I'm a little different on that.
Really?
If I ask for the first date, I will pay.
Yeah.
If she asks for the first date, I wouldn't necessarily pay.
Oh, okay.
Why, like, you asked, why am I paying? That sounds a little cheap, to be honest.
Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from.
But I also have found that typically I'm the one that asks. Right?
Yeah, same.
It does seem more like the woman drops the hint, the guy asks her out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's typically how I think it goes.
I think for me, for if she asked to go out on the first date, I think I'd still pay. And then if she keeps asking it to go out, I'll be like, well, this was your idea. But the first one, I feel like, just for myself, I've made it a rule to pay.
And typically, like, I would pay. Mm-hmm. But if you ask me out, I might not pay. I wouldn't make you pay for me. I'd probably split the bill.
Yeah.
But it also depends what you do, too. Like,
yeah.
So here's a funny story for you. One of the first dates I went on with my girlfriend, after when we started dating.
Yeah.
While we were friends, it was her birthday came up, so I bought her a Starbucks gift card. Mm-hmm. And we went on our first date. She really wanted to pay for coffee. Yeah. She used the gift card. So I was like...
Wait, you bought her the gift card?
Yeah. And then she used that gift card and was like, yeah, I paid. And I was like, yeah, you did.
Totally. That's so funny. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I am also, like, old-fashioned in the sense that, like, if you ask on the first date, I wouldn't do this. But if I ask you out on the first date, I'm buying you flowers. Mm. I'm picking you up. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that's...
Cool.
I know that's more old-fashioned than probably most people now, but
yeah,
that's what I want out of a relationship.
Right.
I want to treat you like a lady.
Yeah.
And I want to, I don't know, spoil you a little bit. I don't know, but I want to treat you right and with respect. I'm going to open the door for you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pull your chair up for you. I don't know.
But, I always try to open the doors for them. Just the little things I feel like women pay attention to. Yeah. Do you open the car door for them? Like
on a date? Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that every time.
Yeah.
Like, if we're just hanging out, dating. I'm not necessarily going to open... But if we're going on an intentional date, and we're... I don't know, especially... If it's an intentional date and you're going out, yeah, I'm opening the door for you at the car.
Yeah.
But throughout a regular life, not every time. Mm-hmm. I would try to, but...
You didn't open the door for me when we went to Tim's.
Yes, I did!
You unlocked it after I tried to open it 3 times.
I opened the door to Tim's.
Oh, yeah.
You tried to cut me off, though. I thought you were going to open the door for me, and then I'd open the next door for you, and you were just going to go right in.
I know, I opened the door, and then I went to go in, and he went right in front of me. I was like, well, whatever.
But then I held the door for you, because I'm nice like that. And then I forgot to unlock the truck.
Yeah.
But we're also not dating, so...
Yeah,
I'm not going to open the door for you.
Yeah, it wasn't a Tim's date. It was just Tim's.
That was do we need anything for the podcast? Let's go grab coffee and think about it.
Yeah.
And also, we just wanted Tim's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always. That's funny. Dating's weird, man. It's a little confusing.
Intimidating?
It's a little intimidating. It gets easier after every date, for sure, for me.
Yeah.
But I'm still that awkward guy that barely knows how to talk to girls.
Fair. I honestly think when it comes to girls, I have a natural, I just naturally kind of change a little bit, and I become a little more charismatic.
That's good.
Which I don't know if that's a great thing, and there's definitely times where I'm like, dang, why did I do that?
Too much, yeah.
But...
Yeah, that's so true.
I don't want to say it just comes naturally to me, but it's not like I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do?
It's usually 30 minutes leading up to the date that I start to, I don't know. And it's I try to not do that, but it's just it just happens without my say so. I'm just stop. Why are you freaking out? And then it's usually the first 5-10 minutes of the date where I'm super antsy and I'm trying to and then I usually chill out. I'm like, oh, it's just a person. It's literally just a person. But.
So here's a question for you. Mm-hmm. What are, if you were to start dating somebody now, would you set certain boundaries within the relationship?
Yeah, that's a great question. Especially as a Christian, I think that's, a very good thing to do.
Yeah.
As quick as possible, I think.
Yeah. So I actually, I have a verse that I'm going to pull up.
Okay.
On that, just because that's something on my mind, I think. Because the temptation for everybody when you start dating is you just that physical affection. Even if you're not a physical touch human being. Like, I'm not physical touch. I don't really like touching people. But in a dating relationship, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Like, you're my significant other, and I want to hold your hand. Right?
And it's like, it's something that you don't get from anything else. Like maybe your mom when you were a child. And then now it's just that person. So it makes you kind of want to lean into it.
Which is why you have to be...
That's why you have to be prepared to set boundaries and stick to them.
I am absolutely tripping right now. Is this book... Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to read a verse from probably one of the most unread books or scary books.
Scary book.
Song of Solomon. There are some very questionable, well, not questionable, but you're like, dang, that's in the Bible?
It's so true. Because it's basically, what is it, like poems to your significant other? It's basically,
like love notes to each other.
Yeah.
When one of my best friends got married, we had fun with their car.
Yeah.
While they were dancing. And I wrote on one of their windows a whole section of Song of Solomon, and it was like, your teeth are like flocks of sheep. Like the flirting the things they said in this time was like, what?
So weird.
But so the verse I have when setting boundaries, Song of Solomon 8 verse 4, I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that you not stir up or awaken love until it pleases.
Okay, yeah.
Like, what's the context? I'll just read the start of that, just for some more context.
Yeah.
Oh, that you were like a brother to me who nursed at my mother's breasts. This is why this book is weird. If I found you outside, I would kiss you, and none would despise me. I would lead you and bring you into the house of my mother, she who used to teach me. I would give you spiced wine to drink and the juice of my pomegranate. Sorry. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand embraces me. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that you not stir up or awaken love until it pleases.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like, what that's saying is, don't do something until it's time.
Yeah.
Right? So that the Bible talks a lot about sexual immorality, which is any sexual act outside of the marriage relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea when you're dating as a Christian then is you don't want to, if you want to honor the Lord, you need to flee from sexual immorality.
Right.
So to some extent, to me, what that means is I need to set physical boundaries because I don't want the temptation of being sexually immoral.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for instance, there would be one of my rules if I was to start dating somebody would be like, you are not allowed in my room.
Mm. I
am not allowed in your room.
Okay.
And part of that stems from, do I want to say that? I have never been sexually immoral. I'll start with that.
Okay.
And I've never really been tempted to, but I've done things that temptation could have been there.
Right, yeah.
And the Bible says flee from all temptation. And if I truly want to honor the Lord, especially through my relationship, I need to flee from those things.
Mm-hmm.
Hence I'm not gonna go in your room.
Yeah.
To some extent. I don't want you in my room, for the most part. Like or maybe it's more, we're not going to hang out in my room.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hang out in your room.
Yeah.
And I'm especially not going to hang out on your bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are especially not allowed to hang out on my bed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, those are some of the things I would say, just because I don't want that temptation.
Yeah.
I want to honor the Lord, and I want to honor you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not honoring you if I'm inviting temptation, maybe even not on my part, but on your part.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So don't stir up love before it pleases. Don't stir up those things before you're married.
Yeah.
You're inviting temptation.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting in our the dating climate today. Girls are taught to feel validated by their looks and the attention they get from men. And so I think it's definitely an issue. What?
I feel like we're going to get a lot of
No, but okay. I'm just saying that's what they're taught. I'm not saying that's what.
Yeah, and
they're taught by pulp culture, like what a woman should look like and stuff like that.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, gotcha. Maybe it's a good thing we clarified that.
Yeah, probably. So and nowadays, like, pop culture pushes sex like crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it makes women, like, if a guy says, "Oh, I don't want to have sex with you until marriage," I feel like that can almost.
Am I not attractive?
Yeah.
Right? Like, do you not love me? It
can bring on those questions. And it's like, no, what the guy is actually doing is...
I'm honoring you.
He's valuing that part of you and keeping it sacred.
You are so precious that I dare not spoil it.
There you go.
That's kind of a weird way to put it. But...
It's so... Yeah, that's so
what
true.
it is. It's like, you are so precious... And I cherish you, or I value you so much that I don't want to put that stain on this image that the Lord has created.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
You're welcome.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and that's so true.
Yeah. We have to remember that, you have to remember that sex is a very powerful thing.
Yeah, even like...
And God created it for a purpose, and that purpose is to join man and wife, or man and woman, right?
And woman.
It's to join man and wife that they can have that even closer intimacy with each other.
Yeah.
So when you don't honor that, like the way I've had it, like I've read a book called Loveology, and it's like, it's a dynamite book. Anybody who wants to date and you're a Christian, you should read that book. It's dynamite. It's by John Mark Comer.
Oh,
and he talks about all of it. And he's like, his words are, sex is a vessel so powerful it can only be contained within marriage.
Yeah.
And he use it outside of marriage is to abuse that power.
Yeah. That's so true. And like, even physically, like, there are chemicals released during sex that bond you to that person.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start doing that with multiple people, it's like, it no longer means anything.
Yeah.
And so when you finally do find that person, it's just another thing. And it's not as important, it's not as sacred, and it doesn't feel as good, I think.
Yeah. I've always kind of described it, and I have no idea if this is true. But when you sleep around like that, you leave part of yourself with every person you've been with. So when you're having sex with more than one person, you can never be whole again because you've left part of you with that person.
Yeah.
But when you are in a marriage relationship and you're only having that relationship with one person, you are one flesh. You are joined together and you are whole.
Yeah.
Because you've given yourself to them, they've given yourself to you, and you're only giving yourself to them, and they're only giving themselves to you.
So true. And we don't mean to dunk on people that have in the past been.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, I'm not saying if you have had sex before and you're not married or you've slept with multiple people.
Yeah.
You're not going to hell.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what you should strive for now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll just put it out there. I've been sexually immoral. Like, I'm not a virgin. And that was because my first relationship was not mature. It was purely physical, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm with you guys that can relate on that one. But yeah, it's what you strive for in the future and for that one person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah. You know, and I think our culture has it so twisted. Like, for whatever reason, we think it's a great thing to go have sex with multiple people. I'm like, that's... Yeah. And to have sex with one person is like, that's sad. Why is that sad?
Yeah.
That's
honestly.
So exciting.
Or like, it's a problem if you're still a virgin at this stage or whatever. It's like, what? Are you serious?
You're saving yourself for marriage? What? Yeah.
And even men are being pushed, like the Andrew Tate guys. Oh, it's okay to have sex with multiple women, but women should not have sex with multiple men. It's like this double
that's a little standard. Misogynistic.
Oh yeah, totally. And like they bring up like Bible times and stuff like that, where men did have multiple wives and stuff like that to justify it, but like the Bible never says that's the way to go.
No, and the only reason those guys did it is because that's what everybody did.
Yeah.
Especially kings. Like you look at Solomon and David.
Yeah.
They did that because that's what kings did at the time.
Yeah.
They were conforming to the world when they should have been conforming to the standards and ideals God had set forth for them.
Exactly.
And they were living outside of those standards.
Yeah, it's foolish of us to look back and say what they were doing is right. It's like,
yeah, they did some things right.
yeah.
But they also did some things wrong.
Yeah.
The Bible is not just a compilation of all the good things that happened.
No.
It's a history book about everything that happened.
Yeah.
Well, not everything, but it includes the good, it includes the bad.
Yeah. Mostly the bad that people did.
A lot of
to
it,
emphasis that we are awful.
And the emphasis on how good God is.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, the contrast between humanity and God is so huge in the Bible. And that's the point.
Yeah. And dude, like a marriage relationship built on the foundation of Christ, where I can struggle with the Lord and have my spouse come along and say, I'm going to sit through this with you and encourage me and help me along my journey, and somebody I can do that for, that sounds so amazing. Right? Like, my number one priority in my life is that I seek the Lord and follow the Lord. And if I have a wife that comes along beside me and pushes me to that goal, and is somebody I can push to that goal, to me, that's like, there's nothing more amazing than that.
Yeah. Totally. What time are we at? Are we almost
So that
there?
timer was for 55 minutes.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. We kind of blew through this one. That was good.
Yeah.
So if you have any problems with what we said, because this can be a controversial topic for sure.
Yeah. And I should put out there, we are not perfect. We do not have it all figured out.
Yeah.
We have done our best. Maybe I shouldn't speak for you. I've done my best. I'm sure you have too, to base my ideas and ideals on dating upon the word of the Lord.
Yeah.
And I desire truly to honor him in all aspects of my life, including dating.
Yeah.
But I am still human and I am still flawed and I am not perfect. So I probably 100% have said things that are not ideal.
Exactly.
Basically what I'm saying is don't take what we're saying as truth.
No, we're not. We're not dating experts.
No.
We're here to have a conversation. So if you want to pick up that conversation, shoot us a DM, maybe, because I think we're going to continue this dating series. And
we're going to do a few episodes on it for sure.
So, send us a DM at Yep Life Podcast on Instagram.
And I will say, we're not just going to have the two of us talking about dating all the time. We're going to get some couples on here that are actually dating.
We're going to diversify our perspectives on the topics.
Yeah. We'll get some people that are currently dating and their thoughts on it, because they'll probably have a little more to offer than we do.
So, thanks for joining. This was less awkward than usual because we had a lot to say, apparently.
And it wasn't just one of us listening to the other talk about their life.
Yeah, so true. Cool. Now it's awkward.
Why'd you have to address it?
We don't plan our endings or intros or anything.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I have a song stuck in my head right now. Different than before.
Okay, I was gonna say, you should sing that one for us.
If you know.
You could figure it out by that if you can.
Probably, if you've seen The Book of Life, you probably know what song I just quoted, but no, I have the lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely.
The Akon version or the original?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have nobody for my own.